Before you begin your day, pause. Right now, in this moment, something powerful is happening. The version of you who struggles for money is fading, and the version of you who attracts money naturally is awakening. This is not just another morning message. This is a decision, a shift, a declaration. For the next few minutes, do not listen casually. Listen as the person who already knows that money is responding to you. Listen as the one who understands that reality rearranges itself according to assumption. Today is not ordinary. Today is the day money moves toward you, not because you chase it, not because you force it, but because you claim it. As you hear these words, allow them to sink deep into your subconscious. Let them replace doubt. Let them dissolve fear. Let them build certainty. Money is not outside of you. It responds to you. And this morning, you are choosing to become the one who receives it. Take a deep breath and step into the assumption that money is already on its way. Today, the moment you decide that money is coming to you today, you must understand one essential truth. You do not wait for evidence before you believe. You believe first. You assume first. You accept it inwardly before it ever appears outwardly. This is the law of creation operating at its highest level. The outer world does not move you into belief. Your belief moves the outer world. Most people make the same mistake. They look at their bank account, their bills, their circumstances, and they say, when I see more money, then I will feel secure. But that reverses the order of power. Feeling secure must come first. The state of being financially supported must be assumed before it can be expressed in form. You are not reacting to reality. Reality is reacting to you. To assume the wish fulfilled means you mentally and emotionally accept that it is already done. You do not hope. You do not wish. You do not try. You step into the version of yourself who already has what you desire. If money is coming to you today, then how would you think? How would you sit? How would you speak? How would you move through the world? That version of you exists now, not in the future. And your only task is to embody that state. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine checking your phone and seeing a financial increase. Feel the relief. Feel the gratitude. Feel the quiet confidence. Notice how natural it feels when you allow it. That feeling, that inner acceptance, is the creative act. When you persist in that feeling, the world rearranges itself to mirror it. Evidence is always delayed. The physical world is simply the echo of past assumptions. If you wait for the echo to change before you change your voice, you will wait forever. Instead, change your voice now. Speak internally as the one who is already financially blessed. Think from abundance, not toward it. There is a difference. Thinking toward abundance keeps it in the distance. Thinking from abundance brings it into the present. When you assume the wish fulfilled, you stop asking, will it happen? And you begin saying, it is happening. Doubt fades because certainty replaces it. You are no longer negotiating with reality. You are declaring to it. This assumption must feel calm, not desperate. Desperation pushes the desire away because it affirms lack. Calm certainty draws it in because it affirms possession. The wealthy version of you is not anxious. That version is relaxed, composed, and grateful. So become that now. Walk in that inner atmosphere. You may look around and see no immediate change. That does not matter. The seed has been planted. When a seed is planted in the soil, you do not dig it up every hour to check its progress. You trust the unseen process. In the same way, once you assume wealth internally, you leave it alone. You trust it. You remain loyal to it. Your imagination is not fantasy. It is the blueprint of your future. When you feel money as real within you, you are not pretending. You are selecting. You are choosing a version of reality and claiming it as yours. The world must conform because the outer has no choice but to reflect the inner. Today, assume that money is already finding its way to you. Assume that conversations are aligning. Assume that ideas are forming. Assume that opportunities are unfolding. Do not wait for proof. Proof follows assumption. never the other way around. Every time doubt whispers, return to the feeling of fulfillment. Every time fear arises, remind yourself that it is already done. Persistence in assumption is what hardens it into fact, not force, not struggle, not overthinking. Just quiet, steady loyalty to the state you have chosen. When you master this, life becomes different. You stop living in reaction and start living in creation. You realize that what you consistently assume with feeling becomes your experience. And today, you are choosing to assume wealth. So begin now, not later, not after something changes. Now, assume the wish fulfilled before evidence appears. Stand firm in that knowing and allow the world to catch up with your decision. Money does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you believe you are. The outer world mirrors identity, not desire. So if you wish to experience wealth, you must shift from wanting money to becoming the person for whom money is natural. This is not about pretending. It is about selecting a new self-concept and dwelling in it until it feels normal. Right now, there may be two versions of you. One who hopes for financial relief, who checks circumstances for reassurance, who wonders when things will change, and another version, calm, secure, confident, who knows money flows easily, who expects opportunities, who feels supported by life. The question is not which one is real. The question is which one you choose to be. Identity is the foundation of experience. If you see yourself as someone who struggles financially, you will unconsciously make decisions, think thoughts, and feel emotions that sustain struggle. But if you identify as someone who is financially blessed, your thoughts shift, your reactions change, your posture changes, even your tone changes. The world notices, because the world is reflecting that inner shift. To identify as wealthy does not require external proof. It requires internal acceptance. Ask yourself, if I already had financial freedom, how would I think about money? Would I panic over small expenses? Would I doubt every opportunity? Would I speak words of lack? No. The wealthy version of you moves with certainty. That version expects things to work out. That version does not chase money. Money circulates naturally around them. Begin to think from that identity. When you wake up, instead of thinking, I hope money comes today, think, of course money comes to me. Notice the difference. One is uncertainty, the other is identity. When you think from identity, you eliminate desperation. You no longer ask life for permission. You assume your position. Feel what it is like to be financially secure. Not excited in a frantic way, but grounded, relaxed, stable. The wealthy self is not constantly worried. That self trusts the flow. That self sees possibilities where others see obstacles. This is the version you must embody. You do not become wealthy by forcing external action alone. You become wealthy by stabilizing a wealthy self-image. Every decision you make should come from this new identity. When faced with a choice, ask, what would the financially empowered version of me do? How would that version respond? How would that version interpret this situation? Then follow that inner guidance. Identity shapes expectation. Expectation shapes experience. If you expect financial ease, you begin to notice openings that were always there. Ideas surface. Connections strengthen. Confidence grows. The shift is subtle at first, but powerful. The moment you stop seeing yourself as someone trying to get money and start seeing yourself as someone who naturally receives money, everything changes. This is not arrogance. It is alignment. You are not claiming superiority. You are claiming authorship. You are deciding who you are in relation to wealth. And once decided, you remain loyal to that decision. Your mind may try to pull you back into old patterns. It may remind you of past failures or current limitations. But those belong to the former identity. You are not that version anymore. Each time you return to the new self-concept, you weaken the old one. Each time you affirm internally, I am financially supported, you strengthen the new foundation. Think of identity as clothing. If you wear the garment of lack, you feel restricted. If you wear the garment of wealth, you feel expanded. Choose consciously what you wear mentally. Walk through your day clothed in financial certainty. The outer world may take a little time to rearrange. That is natural. Identity shifts first. Expression follows. Do not rush the process. Remain steady. The more natural your wealthy self-concept becomes, the faster it reflects outwardly. Money is not drawn to need. It is drawn to self-assurance. It is drawn to the one who expects it without tension. So become that one, not tomorrow. Now, identify as the version of you who already has wealth. Think from that place. Feel from that place. Decide from that place. And allow reality to mirror who you have chosen to be. Money is not first experienced in the wallet. It is first experienced in the nervous system. Before it becomes numbers on a screen, it becomes a feeling in your body. This is why emotion is not a side effect of manifestation. It is the engine of it. If you want money to come to you today, you must feel what it would feel like if it were already here. Most people attempt to think their way into wealth. They repeat words, they visualize quickly, they force affirmations, but they do not feel the shift. And without feeling, nothing truly changes. Words without emotion are empty. Imagination without sensation is weak. The emotional acceptance of wealth is what impresses the subconscious mind and activates change. So ask yourself honestly, if I received the exact amount of money I desire today, what would I feel? Relief, gratitude, security, freedom, confidence. Let that feeling rise in you right now without waiting for confirmation. Do not wait for a notification. Do not wait for proof. Generate the emotion deliberately. Close your eyes and construct a short inner scene. Perhaps you are smiling at your phone screen. Perhaps you are telling someone the good news. Perhaps you are sitting quietly, overwhelmed with gratitude. Do not make the scene long. Make it real. Add sensory detail. Hear the sounds. Notice your breathing. Feel the subtle shift in posture. Let your shoulders relax. Let your chest open. Let the relief move through you. Stay there for a moment. Not as imagination, but as participation. You are not observing wealth. You are experiencing it. The body does not know the difference between a vividly imagined event and a physical one. When you feel financial security deeply enough, your subconscious accepts it as reality. And once accepted internally, it begins to reorganize your outer world to match that inner state. Emotion is magnetic. If you feel anxious about money, you sustain anxiety, producing circumstances. If you feel secure about money, you begin aligning with security, producing opportunities. It is not magic, it is alignment. Your inner emotional climate sets the tone for your outer experience. Do not mistake excitement for faith. The feeling of wealth is often calm, quiet, stable. It is the feeling of everything is okay. It is the deep breath after tension dissolves. That is the emotional signature you are looking for. Not desperation, not hype, peace. When you cultivate this feeling each morning, you condition your mind to operate from abundance rather than from fear. Throughout the day, your reactions begin to change. You no longer panic over small expenses. You no longer interpret delays as rejection. You no longer feel threatened by temporary appearances. Why? Because emotionally, you already feel supported. Feeling the reality now shortens the gap between desire and manifestation. It collapses time. The longer you dwell in the emotional state of wealth, the more natural it becomes. And when something feels natural, it no longer feels distant. If doubt appears, do not fight it aggressively. Simply return to the feeling. Breathe into it. Revisit your inner scene. Let gratitude rise again. You are training your inner world to stabilize in financial confidence. This is why listening every morning matters. Repetition builds familiarity. Familiarity builds belief. Belief builds emotional conviction. And emotional conviction builds results. You are not trying to trick yourself. You are selecting your state. You are choosing to occupy the emotional frequency of wealth instead of the emotional frequency of lack. Right now, as you read these words, allow a quiet gratitude to settle in your chest. Imagine that by tonight, you will look back at this morning and smile because something shifted. Feel that smile now. Feel that quiet satisfaction. Feel that certainty. Money is not separate from your emotional state. It reflects it. So feel it now. Feel the relief. Feel the stability. Feel the gratitude. Feel the quiet confidence. When the emotional reality becomes stronger than the visible circumstance must change. Stay loyal to the feeling and allow your world to follow. The greatest test of faith is not when everything is going well. It is when nothing appears to be changing. This is where true creative power is proven, in your ability to ignore present circumstances and remain loyal to your inner assumption. If you have decided that money is coming to you today, then your commitment must be stronger than your senses. Circumstances are not causes. They are effects. They are the result of past thoughts, past beliefs, past emotional states. When you react to them with fear or doubt, you unknowingly recreate them. But when you observe them without surrendering your new assumption, you break the cycle. Look at your current reality as if it were old news. Because it is. It is yesterday's thinking made visible. It has nothing to do with who you are becoming now. If your bank balance does not yet reflect abundance, that is not a verdict. It is simply a snapshot of a previous state, and you are no longer that state. Remaining loyal to your assumption means refusing to let temporary appearances dictate your identity. You do not deny what you see, but you refuse to give it authority. You understand that the inner world is primary and the outer world is secondary. When doubt whispers, nothing has changed, you calmly respond within, it is already done. When fear says, what if it doesn't happen? You gently return to, it is happening. This is not delusion. This is discipline. This is mastery over reaction. Most people abandon their assumption too quickly. They assume wealth for a few hours, then one bill arrives and they collapse into worry. They affirm abundance in the morning and complain about lack in the afternoon. This inconsistency weakens the creative process. Loyalty strengthens it. Think of your assumption as a seed planted in fertile soil. Once planted, you do not dig it up to check for growth. You water it with faith. You protect it from weeds of doubt. You give it time. In the same way, once you assume financial abundance, you guard that state. You protect it from negative conversations. You protect it from internal criticism. You nourish it with repetition and feeling. Ignoring circumstances does not mean you avoid responsibility. You still act wisely. You still make decisions. But you act from confidence, not fear. You move through the world with the inner, knowing that everything is aligning, even if you cannot yet see how. There will be moments when your senses try to convince you otherwise. That is natural. The mind has been conditioned to believe only what it sees, but now you are reversing that order. You believe first, you see later. Remain loyal to the unseen reality. Return again and again to the feeling of financial certainty. Remind yourself that unseen forces are arranging outcomes. Conversations are taking place. Ideas are forming. Opportunities are moving closer. Just because you cannot observe the process does not mean it is inactive. Your calm persistence is powerful. Every time you refuse to panic, you strengthen your new state. Every time you decline to complain, you reinforce your assumption. Every time you choose faith over fear, you accelerate alignment. The outer world may delay, but it cannot deny a sustained inner conviction. Eventually, it must conform. Reality is not resisting you. It is reorganizing itself around your chosen identity. So if today you see nothing yet, remain steady. If tomorrow still looks unchanged, remain steady. Your loyalty is the bridge between assumption and manifestation. Stand firm internally. Speak wealth internally. Feel security internally. And let appearances catch up in their own time. Ignore the noise. Ignore the temporary. Ignore the surface. Remain loyal to your inner assumption. Because that assumption is shaping everything you will soon see. Everything you experience financially is first created in consciousness. Money does not begin in the marketplace. It begins in the mind. Before a transaction occurs, before an opportunity appears, before a number increases, there is a state of awareness that makes it possible. This is the foundation of all manifestation. Consciousness is the only true cause. If you accept this fully, your entire approach to wealth changes. You stop trying to manipulate outer conditions and start refining inner states. You realize that the world is not deciding your financial fate. You are through the concepts you hold about yourself. Consciousness is not just thought. It is identity. It is the collection of beliefs, assumptions, expectations, and emotional patterns you consistently occupy. If you are conscious of being unsupported, life reflects instability. If you are conscious of being financially secure, life reflects support. The mirror cannot contradict the face before it. Most people live unconsciously in a state of lack. They replay worries. They anticipate bills. They expect struggle. Even when they try to affirm wealth, their dominant consciousness remains rooted in fear. And so the outer world faithfully reflects that deeper state. To change financial outcomes, you must change the state you are conscious of being. Ask yourself, what am I aware of myself as? Am I aware of being someone who never has enough? Or am I aware of being someone who is always provided for? The shift begins with awareness. Observe your inner conversations about money. Notice your automatic reactions. Do you tense up when thinking about finances? Do you assume delays? Do you expect difficulty? These subtle patterns reveal the consciousness you are operating from. Now, deliberately choose a new state. Become conscious of being financially favored. Become conscious of being supported by unseen channels. Become conscious of being someone money flows toward naturally. This is not about forcing positive thoughts. It is about stabilizing a new self-definition. When you consistently return to the idea, I am financially secure, you gradually shift your baseline awareness. And when that awareness stabilizes, your outer world must reorganize. Consciousness works like a lens. Whatever lens you wear determines how you interpret events. If you wear the lens of lack, even opportunity looks risky. If you wear the lens of abundance, even challenges look like stepping stones. Change the lens, and you change the experience. Money responds to the state you dwell in most often, not the state you visit occasionally, but the one you live in daily. This is why repetition matters. This is why morning alignment matters. You are conditioning your consciousness to accept wealth as normal. Once wealth feels normal in your awareness, it stops feeling distant. It stops feeling extraordinary. It becomes expected. And what is expected tends to appear. Think about this. You never question whether you will breathe tomorrow. It feels certain. It feels natural. There is no resistance around it. That same naturalness must be developed around money. When financial support feels just as normal as air, resistance dissolves. You are not at the mercy of the economy, luck, or chance. Those are secondary factors. The primary cause is always consciousness. The outer world organizes itself around dominant inner conviction. This does not mean you ignore action. Action will come, but it will be inspired, not forced. When consciousness shifts, you will naturally take steps aligned with wealth. Ideas will feel clearer. Decisions will feel easier. Timing will feel right. Action becomes an extension of inner certainty, not a desperate attempt to create it. The key is persistence. Stay aware of your chosen identity. Return to it daily. Guard it carefully. Strengthen it intentionally. Right now, become conscious of being financially blessed. Feel it as a quiet fact. Let it settle into your awareness. Let it feel ordinary. Let it feel stable. Because once consciousness accepts wealth as truth, the outer world has no choice but to reflect that truth. You are not waiting for money to decide your future. Your consciousness is deciding it now. Now feel the shift within you. You are not the same person who started listening. Something has settled. Something has aligned. There is calmness where worry used to live. There is certainty where doubt once existed. Carry this feeling with you. Do not look for proof. Do not search for signs. Do not question how it will happen. The how is not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to remain loyal to the knowing. Walk today as the one who already has more than enough. Speak like it. Think like it. Expect like it. Let every action come from confidence, not lack. And when money appears, whether through opportunity, ideas, unexpected blessings, or direct financial increase, receive it without surprise. Receive it as confirmation of what you already knew this morning, because you decided money is coming to you today, and it is already in motion. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to affirm it in the comments. Money flows to me effortlessly. Your words reinforce your assumption. Thank you for choosing to start your day with intention and power. Thank you for committing to your inner transformation. And thank you for being part of this growing community of conscious creators. Return to this message every morning until it feels natural, until wealth feels like your identity. Your reality is shifting. Your abundance is unfolding, and your time is now. Stay aligned, stay certain, and I will see you in the next message.